This video is going to be a little bit different than most of what I've posted to this channel so far, and it's going to be a bit more off the cuff. I guess in a way this is kind of a series of complaints, and these complaints extend far beyond the musical instrument world and industry, but they are certainly affecting the industry very heavily right now. I'm not even exactly sure where to start here. I guess one thing I'll say is that I gig, and I gig quite a bit, not as much as some people, but it's a significant portion of my income. I've got a pretty nice solid state amp that I use only in specific circumstances. Most of the time I don't need an amp at all anymore, which is fine with me. It's less to carry around and set up. But recently my amp went on the fritz, so I'm having it worked on. And I thought to myself, well, if I were to buy a backup, or if I needed to replace this amp, what might I get? So I started looking around. Part of what I looked for were some of the things that I found when I was looking for an amp to buy when I got the one that I have. And what I started finding, and as I expanded my search to other things beyond just guitar amps, is that a lot of the products that just a handful of years ago were really commonplace are now all but non-existent, and in some cases they are actually non-existent. There seems to be this really weird gap right now where if you're kind of, I hate to say beginner, not really beginner, but maybe kind of, lower intermediate, or you're not playing out professionally, there's all kinds of stuff. It's affordable, it sounds great. Then we have a lot of really great high-end stuff, and if you're willing to pay the price for it, there's amazing gear to be had. But kind of along with all of the issues that I'm sort of describing here, one of them that I'm seeing is that there's no middle ground. There's this stuff, there's this stuff, and there's hardly anything in between to boot. And I guess I'm backing up a little bit here. You may or may not know I work part-time at a music store, and the music store itself, as well as myself and at least one other coworker, have had some very serious issues getting existing product support from certain companies. This is not across the board, but there are some really big, really well-known, pretty popular companies out there who are not standing behind their equipment at all. Right now there is a guitar that's about $500 or $600 to the consumer that is hanging in the store where I teach and work. And it's hanging there because the manufacturer refuses to send a proprietary potentiometer. A simple pot would fix this guitar, but without routing it out, there is no fix unless you have the right pot, which they will not send. This is a well-known manufacturer. You all know their name. It's another case of an instrument that the same store had hanging on the wall, and within 1 year of that instrument hanging on the wall, the neck twisted. So we got a hold of the manufacturer. Their response was, well, sorry, that instrument has a 1-year shop warranty, meaning if the guitar doesn't sell within a year, you're out of warranty on the instrument. Doesn't matter who buys it, who doesn't buy it, what happens to it. It's out of warranty after 1 year. This is a $5,000. This is their flagship instrument. Luckily, we had a long relationship with the rep for that company, and he got that guitar taken care of. Quick side note that's going to kind of lead into the next thing I have to say here. Last night, I was talking to a college student, and they were telling me and the other people who were in on the conversation about how the washing machines in the dorm, they accept quarters. They have a regular mechanical quarter slot. And ironically, that's what everybody uses, because there's also an app that apparently will take your money and about 90% of the time will not actually wash your clothes. The washer won't work once you've given the app your money. So I guess all these students are just using quarters. So to my next point. I know this is going to sound a little bit like old man yells at cloud, and unfortunately I am an old man now, and I'm getting a little fed up with every product being made having to have a battery, loadable IRs, DSP, just on and on and on. All this garbage that I not only don't need, I actively do not want in a lot of these products, because once that digital thing decides to fail, or that battery that cannot be replaced just isn't going to charge anymore, now you've got a brick. I'm not even really a tube amp guy. I love the way they sound, but they're too much maintenance, too heavy, too much to carry around. But, at least with a real old school tube amp, if a part goes bad, as long as somebody has the knowledge and skill, they can get the part, replace it, and you've got a working amp again. A lot of this stuff now, the battery goes, some digital component goes, a microchip goes. I mean, if you're lucky, it's still a current product, and maybe you can get a replacement part, maybe you can get it serviced, if you can find somebody that's even capable of working on the thing. Maybe it's still in warranty, if it even has a warranty, which limited lifetime warranties are another thing that I'm seeing getting fewer and further between. As a working musician, as a consumer, and as just a guy that works at a music store, honestly, I'm getting pretty frustrated. I'm certainly not anti-digital. I had a Pod 1.0, and I got the upgrade chip to turn it into a 2.0. I have a digital pedal on my board right now. It's not about that. It's just that every product doesn't have to have something digital in it, and it certainly doesn't always have to be rechargeable. Anyway, I'm sure there are some other points that I really wanted to make that I glossed over, forgot about, but if you're experiencing other frustration or similar frustration, toss something in the comments. I'll see you soon.